Brad,
Brett.
I watched Halloween 2018 and Halloween H2O the other day, and gosh almighty, H2O is a piece of shit.
Oh, come on, man. It is a natural progression for Lori. 20 years later, she's in her prime this time around. It's a good time. She gets
The fuck? Michael, are you suggesting that instead of bantering like a bunch of children, we should just slash it out? Brad,
slash it out.
slash it out.
All right.
They're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Rill Hunting, where we hunt for the good rills so you don't have to. It is still Good Rill Hunting 2020, but it is Halloween, so happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen.
It's actually our very last day of Good Real Hunting 2020.
That is right, and we got a special episode. We have the return of Slash It Out, and today we will have Halloween H2O, which I will be defending against Brett here, who's defending Halloween 2018. We have a special guest moderator here, my brother Eric. Eric, say hello.
What's up, guys?
We're ready to rock. So he's going to keep us in line, keep us from rambling, and make sure we stay within our time limits for when we're answering questions. We got questions from some of you guys on Killer Flicks and other avenues as well. And I know Eric's got a few questions for us. And we haven't seen the questions yet. We're going in blind, and we're going to come up with the best responses.
Or actually blind as Michael Myers in Halloween 2. You know, when he gets shot in the eye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's when he got shot. Right in the eyeballs. So we're ready to rock and roll through that. It's going to be a good time. And again, we haven't seen the questions yet. We're going to answer them as they come in, and should be good, ready to rock. You guys excited?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, before we get into it, I believe we should go ahead and go into our Tale of the Tape.
All right. Boom, 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 boom.
Eric, since you are our moderator, I want you to have the first word. What do you see from our Tale of the Tape?
What do I see? What stands out to me is how much money H2O made compared to 2018.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Inflation.
Look at that,
It looks like there's a lot more excitement for 2018. I mean, it's not that long ago. I mean, I don't know. That's big. Kind of surprised by the IMBD.
Yeah, with how close they are.
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked when I think of H2O. I thought it'd be a little bit lower, but when I went back and rewatched it, I'm kind of with that. I would give it probably a 6 out of 10. So.
Okay. But be sure to remember that because we'll do our ratings at the end of the video. Brad, do you see anything from our Tale of the Tape?
The budget, to me, I don't know how H2O had, what is it, 17 million or something like that? I remember we looked at it.
Yeah, 17 million.
17 million, and I don't know what they did with all that money, honestly. But
I'll be sure to get into that.
H18 comes in. I guess they had that van crash at the end, which we'll get into. We will have spoilers for both movies, of course, ladies and gentlemen, so just be warned for that.
Yeah, so if you have not seen either movie, stop our video, watch both of the movies, and come right back here and see us slash it out.
All right. So, the budget's the biggest thing for me. I was just surprised to see that H2O actually had a much larger budget than 2018.
Yeah, especially from the 90s, too. Like, that's crazy.
I guess CGI masks are pretty expensive.
Yikes.
Okay. So, do you want to go ahead and do a quick intro for each movie?
Yes. Actually, I was just going to let our moderator have the floor. He's in charge now, and we shall obey his law. So, Eric, it's yours.
All right, Brett, start me off. Tell me about 2018 Halloween.
Well, 2018 starts off 40 years later from the original John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978, where it just shows you kind of like the aftermath of what happened on that one Halloween night, like how messed up Laurie Short is in the head and how obsessed she is with Michael Myers. And along with that, she's also trying to get back her family and to get back a relationship, but her daughter Karen does want nothing to do with her mother. And it's just like throughout the movie, you just see them trying to regain their relationship while also trying to stop Michael Myers, which he did escape, and just wreaking havoc throughout the whole town of Haddonfield.
Okay, Brad.
So H2O kind of tells a similar story. It's set up a little bit different, though. It's 20 years later. It does include Halloween 2. And Michael and Laurie are still brother and sisters in this one. So it's a little bit different of a setup. Laurie's obviously, she's moved away. She's faked her death. She's trying to get away from Michael as opposed to waiting for him to return. And she's got a lot going for her, man. She's the head mistress or whatever they're called at the school out there. She's she's basically in charge. Got a good job. She's got her son John out there. She's got a lot of things going for her and a lot of things to lose, and that's pretty much it. Michael shows up 20 years later. They never found his body after the second one, so he shows back up, and it goes from there. Good times all the way out in California.
All right, you may get started with some questions.
Sure.
Go right for it.
I think the biggest question for both these movies, and it's something I came up with as well as some of the other people, which movie has the better Laurie? Like, who's better?
Start off with the big question.
That's the biggest question. I think that's like the number one question that you guys can ask about this movie. So,
all right. So who do you want it to go first?
Brett, let's start with you.
All right. The best Laurie. Well, let's see. First off, I do respect what they did with Laurie's character in H2O, like going into her PTSD. That's normal with going through such a traumatic event. But I think my Laurie did the best job because not only did she is dealing with the PTSD and the alcoholism, but she also learned to become a survivalist, which just like to prep herself for the evils that are out in the world, aka the Shape and Michael Myers, because she knows that Michael will escape and strike again. And this time, she wants to be the ass kicker versus just like barely surviving.
All right.
Brad?
Well, I'm going to have to go ahead and defend the H2O Laurie for reasons being that I've kind of talked about earlier. She went through more shit in the first two movies because the second one's included in this timeline. So that's important. So the second, the Halloween 2 is a much more even of a massacre than Halloween 1. I think there's more bodies. It just goes farther into the night. She's dealing with more there, more stress. Yet she comes back from that. She's got more to lose. She moves on. She moves out to California to obtain a good job, and she's got Michael in her rear view. Now, yes, she's still suffering from PTSD, and she's taking prescription medication, and she has some a little bit too much wine at lunch, if you know what I mean. But overall, like, she has things going for her, and she's got more to lose in this one. Whereas in 2018, she has nothing to lose. Her family's pretty much disowned her at this point. She lives by herself. She's been through 2 marriages that have been, that failed. All she has at this point is her obsession over Michael in 2018. So at this point, if Michael kills her, whatever, nothing to lose, which is cool, I guess. But in H2O, she's got her son that still lives with her, or at least in the same ballpark. They have a pretty close, albeit difficult relationship, but they care about one another. Close relationship there. She's got her job, and she's more. You see her in this movie kind of overcome her fear more so, as opposed to waiting for the moment for Michael to return. Michael shows back up. She's kind of scared at first. She keeps seeing him and stuff with, these visions and stuff. But then, at the end, you see her overcome that with the axe, and she's like, Michael, and all that. Like, it's all over. Like, she's going to go hunt for Michael now. I think it's more of a character arc as opposed to 2018, where she's just, she's badass at the beginning. That's great. And then, at the end, it's pretty much the same character as when she started. Whereas H2O, you see a more of an arc.
I agree with that. And when I watched it, that's something I noticed, that I feel like she was a little bit weaker at the beginning. Towards the end, she got her confidence back. For me, it's like, I think both movies, though, really strong. I like both Laurie's, both movies. I think that's like the highlights of both of the movies. Like that's positives. Um, it's, to me, there's not really a winner for me, but I like to know what you guys think. But strong performances, I think, in both movies. To be honest with you, so.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I can't dispute that.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what Brad said about her character dealing with stress. Like, of course, my Laurie deals with stress too, and Brad says for his Laurie Strode, she has John in a close relationship with John. Laurie is almost kind of like started out at the beginning as a loner, and just dealing with her stress, not with just Michael Myers and within herself, but also with her daughter Karen and her niece Allison, and trying to get a relationship with them back. But she just can't seem to like fight her own demons against Michael too, and that's what just really just down the crack of like does that brick wall to try to get that relationship. So I would say my Laurie Short even had more stress than the H2O Laurie.
She does. She actually, I mean, she shows more stress in the 2018 film, but she's been through more in the H2O timeline because you have Halloween 2, and Michael's still her brother in this one, ladies and gentlemen. So there's that. That's another important aspect to throw in there, that she's not only worrying about the psycho killer from 78 coming back, but the fact that it's her brother, and they never found the body. And he's been out there, for 20 years, and she doesn't know if he's dead, alive, whatever, been suffering for 20 years. Whereas in 2018, she knows where he's at the whole time. He's in the mental hospital. It's just a matter of, if he gets out or not. So in this one, there's more on her mind, I think, because again, she's gone 20 years not knowing what his outcome was. If he died at the end of Halloween 2, if he's still out there roaming the streets, whatever, he could be out there, tearing it up, driving cars and stuff like he's been doing. So I think it's cool. I think it adds some cool aspects to her character just to know that, she's been thinking about whether or not Michael's out there still or not at this point in her life. And even though she has moved on and whatnot, that's still something that always consumes her deep down.
And I'll throw one more thing out there. At least my Laurie Strode can kick your Laurie Strode's ass in a one-on-one fight.
Oh, no, mine's about 20 years younger, dude. She can run faster. She can drive better. She's got axes, and when she dual wields the things, like she was pretty badass, I thought, in H2O, at least towards the end.
Yeah, but like she wasn't properly trained when she was dealing with all that. While mine actually had 40 years, and plus age comes experience, and experience conquers all.
It also gets you the AARP and retirement benefits, things like that. Whereas H2O, she's in her prime, dude. Short hair. Good to go.
Good to go. All right. We'll take a question from one of your viewers. This is from Matt Facci. Okay. He wants to know what movie has the better Halloween atmosphere.
Ooh. Brad, do you want to go? Actually, no, you're the moderator. Who gets to go first?
Brad, you take this one. You go first.
I gotta say, neither one of them have really good atmosphere to me. I'll have to do my part and defend the Halloween H2O more so, but I don't think neither one of them really have the atmosphere that the first one has, or the fourth one, or even the sixth one for that matter. Because obviously this is the one Halloween movie where you go out of Haddonfield, H2O, which is a different environment. It's interesting to say the least to go to a different ballpark, different playing field. But you don't really get, I think there was some nice atmosphere at the beginning when they were in Haddonfield, where you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt and the nurse there from the first and second one. You had some pretty good moments there with some Halloween decor and some fall, some leaves, and it just plays that Mr. Sandman opening up, which is cool. Yeah. That really adds to it and kind of brings you back to the second one, connects you to the second one.
I was going to bring that up. I like that. Yeah.
It's awesome. You get that. I think that goes a long way. I think that's probably the best part of the H2 atmosphere is at the very beginning. Once they get out to California, I will agree that it kind of struggles a little bit out there. It doesn't quite feel like a Halloween movie. But you at least get some nice shots of the trees and stuff, and when the school buses go out and it plays the Halloween theme, like I thought that was a pretty cool shot. It adds to that, but I think overall, 2018 didn't do much better with the atmosphere. I think It has a little bit of fall vibes and whatnot, but you never really felt like you were sucked into the atmosphere. You couldn't hear the leaves, crunching and feel the autumn wind like you could in the first one. So I think they both kind of dropped the mark on that one.
See,
Brett?
I don't know about that, man. At least mine actually has the Halloween spirit, unlike yours. Like, yeah, congratulations. Not 9 minutes of just little Halloween stuff in Haddonfield. I think we're going to go to bright, sunny California, where there are like no autumn leaves to be found, just bright green leaves, bright setting until you get to the dark, and that's where you try to go into your Halloween. No, my had a dark atmosphere throughout the entire time. From the first scene into Smith's Grove, gets you that creepy atmosphere that just did a phenomenal job with. I mean, of course, you get your Halloween night where the kids are all in costumes. There are leaves everywhere. And you're right, not very good sound effects with crunching leaves, but at least we have the look of it down and just the darkness. Which again, Michael's a dark character, so you don't want like bright lightings, you want dark lighting. And that's why I was very appreciative that this movie took place throughout the entire Haddonfield.
Well, dark lighting is supportive of Michael Myers, but there wasn't a lot of that in Halloween 2018. Not that there was a lot in H2O, but, I do recall having a hard time finding a good lit picture of Michael Myers for our thumbnail because he was in the shadows a lot in this movie. But that's beside the point. You never really see in 2018. You see Michael out there in the daylight quite a bit, actually. He's out there in the graveyard, and then he puts the mask on. After the bathroom stall thing. Full daylight on his mask. But that's beside the point. It's getting away from the Halloween vibes. And I do think 2018 had a good moment, that Halloween night with that tracking shot where he's walking through the garage. That was the most Halloween atmosphere that you had in that movie, but a large portion of that movie takes place at Laurie's house, which doesn't really give you any Halloween vibes. It's just some shack out in the woods. She doesn't have any pumpkins out. She's not expecting any trick-or-treaters out there or anything like that. No pumpkins
Well, shoot,
out
do
there.
you blame her, though?
Well, I would at least throw a pumpkin out there, but besides,
you do have the pump. Isn't there? No, it wasn't a pumpkin, but at the end of 18, he does have the cop's head off with the flashlight
Yeah,
up in
that
it.
old Jack, the head turn.
was a
And of
pumpkin.
course,
I kind of go back and forth with the movies. Like, I agree. Like H2O, the beginning of the movie feels like Halloween movie. I love it. But man, the scene in 2018 where it's at night, kids are trick or treating. He's walking through that's like
Classic
the best
Myers
scene in the movie. I think stands out the most to me. It feels like Halloween. I don't know. Like, I've kind of sided with 2018 on that question just because of that scene. That scene alone is it's pretty powerful scene with that, and then the scene where he's in the backyard and the light's coming on, it goes off. The light comes on, goes off. I don't know. There's some good. They're good scenes in the movie. Yeah,
they are. Good
I don't
scenes.
know. Yeah,
I will agree
that
that tracking
ahead,
shot scene is phenomenal. It's one of the best shots in the franchise, really.
yeah.
Yeah, and for my scene, if you remember too, when Michael got Vicky, the babysitter from my movie, and that the sheriff lifted that white blanket, like that's supposed to play like the ghost and all that. When he lifted it, Vicky was covered in a pumpkin too, just bleeding all over the place. And gosh almighty, if that doesn't scream a Halloween kill, I'm not sure what is.
Touche. I can't disagree with that.
Anything else you guys want to add to that?
No, in a way of atmosphere, to me, there's just not much to tackle. It's not a good category for me. So
Yeah.
And mine just just throws it there just to be there, but it's just like from the original Halloween, and I would even say my personal favorite atmosphere was Halloween 4. It didn't get up to that level, but I would call at least mine mid-tier, while I call H2O more lower tier.
Halloween 4 is hard to beat.
yeah.
I think that one has like one of the best atmospheres.
The one thing I will say, I think the biggest positive for the H2O movie when it comes to atmosphere is the tie-ins to the first and second movie. You really, and this Mr. Sandman thing, like we were talking about earlier, it really ties back to that. There's a connection to those first two movies where it's kind of lacking in 2018. So you kind of get that there's more mythology there around the Halloween time for Laurie. I think you can kind of feel the day as it progresses that Halloween is here and just because of the subtle nuances with the Mr. Sandman when she gets into the car and it's on the radio and stuff like that. I think that's to me the strongest points of atmosphere, just because it's kind of just tying into the atmosphere that used to be a little bit better. But outside of the actual atmosphere, it is lacking throughout most of the flick.
Yeah, and I'll give you that too. And I could defend mine, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a question about the score and the soundtrack. So I'm going to hold my thoughts onto that, because there was a particular reason why my movie went to the direction of like the sounds and the music and all that. So I'm going to wait and hold on that.
So if that question doesn't come up.
We'll see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'll ask another viewer question, and this is from Eobard Thon. I'm trying to say that name the best I can. I apologize if I said it incorrectly. I kind of have the same question, but he wants to know which film grabbed you from the start. And just to add to that, it's like, to me, I think the first like 10 minutes of a movie is really important, especially the Halloween movies, like little intros they got to the movies. I usually like them, but which movie had the best one? Brett, we'll start with you.
Okay. Yeah. Man, that's a tough one, because I totally agree with you. Like, I would say in any movie, the first 5 to 10 minutes is your like one of the most important scenes, because that's your time to drag in the viewer and your audience of what you're trying to tell, like the story and just the atmosphere. And I'll admit, H2O did a good job for what they were trying to sell at the beginning, but I just felt like it lived up to what they were selling. But for mine, and that Smith Grove opening, oh my gosh, like from beginning of that to the end of that, of Aaron pick up that mask and say something, and then those credits hit. Whoa, goosebumps. Like even that theater, just the goosebumps just like totally took me over, just creeped me out, got me excited. I just didn't know what to feel. And it's like, oh gosh, if they did this for the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie, imagine what kind of emotional roller coaster ride I'm about to go on for the rest of this movie.
Oh yeah.
But did it have bum 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 Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream? Boom boom boom. No, it didn't have that.
It didn't, but there's a reason why ours didn't have that. Again, when we get to that particular question, I would be happy to explain that to you.
All right. So mine, I thought H2O actually the strongest part of the movie was the opening, as we talked about earlier. You get in there in Haddonfield, you're immediately in there. Michael's there in action within the first couple minutes of the movie. You get a nice shot. You get obviously Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in there introducing him, first flick, I believe. He comes in, they clear the house, nice. Okay, the papers are in disarray and whatnot. And you kind of get hints there that, he was there looking for information on Lori, which, trying to find her, which is kind of cool. And that's kind of where it leaves off, which is nice. Because it's a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of the intro, where it's like, oh shit, he's found Lori. What's going to happen next? Because, that's kind of been his goal for, I guess, 20 years now. And now the paper trail has led him to find her new name and her new location. So that's a nice little cliffhanger before you get into the intro. You also get some nice shots when the nurse is going back into the house and there's Michael in the background. It's a nice little stalking scene, which you didn't see a lot of in the Halloween 2018 movie, of him stalking. And that's when he's at his best. And he's kind of just standing in the background and the door closes. It's a creepy scene. And she runs over next door and you have freaking awesome kills. I think the best kill of the movie with the freaking the off-screen death of Joseph Gordon. With the ice skate in the face. That was awesome. That just starts you off from 0 to 100 there at the very beginning of the movie, puts you right into the action. So I thought it was a good way to start. And then you get the battle between the nurse and Michael in the background where the cops are showing up to her house, and then you see them fighting in the background. She goes through the window and he drives off. A cliffhanger again. You're like, oh man, I'm sucked in. I'm ready to see where this goes. He knows where Lori is. He's got a car. He's leaving. Problem solved. Like, he's good to go. I think that's a good intro for this movie. Of course, the music's good. There's a little bit of a time-lapse issue where it goes from daylight to nighttime, but we won't get into that. We'll skip that. But that's beside the point. There's good atmosphere there. You get the Sandman. I think it's a good cliffhanger. And then the opening comes on where you get this sweet voiceover from fake Dr. Loomis, but it sounds pretty good. Where he's talking about, he redoes the dialogue from the first one, the devil's eyes, the blackest eyes, and you get a nice little, overlay of what's, kind of been going on with how he's been staying with the nurse and whatnot, and he passed away, and it's it's kind of a natural progression, I think, for them. And you get the newspaper clippings. There's even a little cameo in there for Rachel with the scissors. As one of the pictures in the beginning. Even though they discredited those movies, it was cool to have that in there. And you get the clippings, like you see how big the Halloween 78 night was, because you have 20-something people murdered in the hospital and all this, because H2O is still there. And I think it's cool. I think it's a great way to get you. For me, it sucked me in pretty big. I love the opening of 2018, but just getting jumped into the action here in H2O, and then the cliffhangers, Michael finding out where Laurie is and then driving off in the background while the cops show up, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I love both intros of both movies. 2018, it's hard to beat to me. I remember seeing it the first time. I was like, "What are we about to get into? This is awesome." I didn't think they would go that direction. I don't know. I was really surprised. I enjoyed it. I don't know. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie is the intro. I mean, it really gets me ready for the movie. H2O though, it's really good as well. Like I love the music. That's just feels like Halloween to me. When I hear that music, it's like, it's here we go. Yeah. If I had to pick one, I would go with 2018. But H2O it's really good as well.
I'll throw something else out there, and I think to me this is the biggest positive for the opening of H2O. Is, again, I know I've mentioned this several times, but it doesn't take away from the ending of the original Halloween movie where he runs off and he's gone, he's out into the ether. Whereas in 2018, he was captured that night. It kind of changes the whole landscape of the Halloween ending from 78, the classical ending there was. It kind of, the message behind that is evil's still out there and it's not going away. And you kind of take that away with the opening of 2018. Because he got captured that night, and you had all that exposition of him getting captured, and to me it kind of ruins the ending of Halloween, the original. Whereas H2O accepted that ending, accepted H2O or Halloween 2's ending where you got burned, and then it's still all that's still there. So I think that's the strongest thing it has going for it, is playing off to the actual endings of the first two movies.
Anything, Brett, you want to add?
Not really to add, but I did have like one particular question if I can ask my opponent.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay. You talk about your paper clippings, like from the intro to H2O, correct? Yeah. Okay. And for the classic timeline for where H2O is, it's supposed to be after the second Halloween movie, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then why did they copy that exact same story from Halloween 4 about Laurie Strodes' car accident?
Well, they threw that in there not to confuse people, because originally they were going to make all the movies canon. Yes, they were going to make all the movies canon. There was actually scenes in there where they bring up the events of Jamie Lloyd, like when she was teaching the class. I think somebody was going to be there was a big scene where one of the students is like, "Yeah, I read about this thing where there's this girl Jamie Lloyd, and her uncle or her mom died, and her uncle ended up finding her and killing her a few years down the road." That was a big scene in the movie. And that's why, in fact, they used the same in the opening for Halloween H2O. You can see the Halloween 6 mask a couple times there, because it was actually supposed to have all that in play. But then they were like, all this stuff's too confusing. They took it out. They deleted those scenes, but they kind of left that stuff, the scissors and the car accident thing in there as an homage, and also just to kind of so people wouldn't be confused. If a casual fan comes in and they'd be like, "Oh, I thought Laurie died in the fourth one," they at least have something to fall back on. But originally, yes, the Jamie story was supposed to be a part of the H2O narrative, and she would have faked her death and left Jamie, and Jamie would have been killed by Michael. But they just took that out to make it less convoluted.
Oh, man. See, it kind of confused me. And when I saw it, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I always heard, according to the fans, that H2O has nothing to do with Halloween 4. But then again, you just mentioned the news clip article, and I immediately thought Halloween 4.
Yeah.
So that's what threw me for a loop. So that's what got me confused.
Officially,
and I feel like you should pay respect to Halloween 4 if you're going to use that.
Yeah, and they kind of did. I mean, officially, it's not canon. But again, in the original script, they even shot the scenes, I think. I might be wrong if they shot the scenes or not, but it was in the script where that was all canon, and then they ended up taking that out. So they just left that part in there about her faking her death and stuff, just so it would add a little bit of continuity from those movies, just so people wouldn't be so confused coming in. and it gives her a reason to change her name, and it just kind of adds to that the way she's trying to get away from Michael, so she faked her death and got into having a new name, Miss Carrie Tate.
Right. And I just feel like I wouldn't rely on another Halloween movie. If you are trying to go after Halloween 2, you could come up with a complete different story.
Did you, the defender of Halloween 2018, say you don't want to rely on other Halloween movies?
But you see, but we don't use it as part of the story, except just from the original Halloween, because that's what our movie is about. But we actually don't witness on screen. We go oh, this scene from Halloween 4 is a part of our story. No, they're just we just show that kind of stuff just to pay homage to our original fans. But those certain things do not actually flow within the story of our movie.
Yeah, that bathroom scene in 2018 was very creative.
See, at least we killed people, and that's actually my favorite scene from the entire movie. That just made me feel uncomfortable right at the start.
Oh yeah.
And no, it was not what we find in the toilets.
All right, guys, let's see. I guess the next best question is, who had the better Michael Myers?
Oh gosh, I'm just going to leave for this one.
And that's the look, that's the movement. That's everything. Who has the best one? Brad, let's go ahead and start with you.
That is a good suggestion.
I'm not sure if you'll have many positives, but go ahead.
I will have to go ahead and mark this one up as a loss. But what I can do
and before, be in particular which Myers you're talking about. There's 3 in there.
Yes. Well, the CGI one, I think, would destroy any Myers in the history of Myerses because it's a computer. But that's beside the point. The best thing I have going for me in H20 is the fact that Myers, he is more, there's a little bit more mythology there because the second movie's still there. He went through the whole thing. He's been shot multiple times, six times in the first one. He's got shot in the heart, I bet, in the first one. And he got shot multiple times. His eyes got shot out, and they regenerated over the last 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. They're back. His eyes are back. So he's got that going for him, and he's Laurie's brother in this one too, which kind of adds a little bit. I don't necessarily agree with that storyline overall, but in this scheme of things, in this timeline, I dug it. I liked it. I think it adds a little bit more to his character. I think that's the best thing he's got going for him. There's a little bit more of a connection between him and Laurie, for that, I think that helps a lot. It's a little bit more of a reason for him to come after Laurie, and it sets up a more organic meeting between the two of them. He's on a mission, so to speak, in this one, whereas in 2018 he's back to his original roots, which means he's just out there on a rampage, which is good. Honestly, I probably like that better, but at least in this scheme of things, he's on a mission to find Laurie and kill her and complete what he started 20 years ago. So that's about the only thing I have. As far as looks go, they're not good, ladies and gentlemen. They're not good at all. You see the eyes the whole time. He's really scrawny looking, even more so than the first one. And then he's got some bow-legged thing going on, and he's got crazy eyes a time or two, and he's got the CGI thing. He's got the Halloween 6 mask. He's got the alien mask. So at least you can say in this one he wears a lot of hats. He drives. He was doing very well last night.
All right, Brett, what do you got?
Oh man, shoot, where to begin? First off, what was the budget for your all's movie, Brad?
$17 million.
$17 million, while mine had between 10 to 15 million. So what in the hell did you do with that 17 million to give us a damn 3 Michael Myers?
Those masks aren't cheap, Brett.
Well, apparently, especially that CGI one, I bet you all put maybe $2 million on that stupid thing.
Hey.
Oh man. Okay.
He did drive cross country though. And a little trick to bring back vision after they're getting shot in the eyes. Kick him in the nuts. You'll see him get his vision right back real quick. But okay, let's go back to mine. Michael Myers, played by James Jew Courtney, and gosh almighty, he nailed it of what Michael Myers was supposed to be 40 years later. He had to look down. They actually established that he was blind in one eye,
And during that opening scene, when Aaron pulls out the mask, you can just see for a split second his blind eye. And no, it's actually, I believe it's the left eye. Yes,
You're
it's
right.
the left eye. I remember. So yeah, and just like his mannerisms, he actually got to learn from Nick Castle, because Nick Castle was also in my movie as well for just a split cameo. It's just the scene where Laurie finds Michael in that second level of the house towards the right in that bedroom. That was Nick Castle. That wasn't James Jude Courtney. But Elaine, you got to learn from a great like Nick Castle. So James Jude Courtney did an excellent job. And holy crap, the mask was just spot on. It's probably so close to being my number one. I actually make it my number two mask in the franchise. And now, see, there's so many positives about my mask. I can't really think of one negative on top of my head, which, Brett, I'm glad you brought up that your movie just showed the eyes of Michael Myers a lot, because to me, that is a humongous no-no. Because, again, it is the shape. And plus, Dr. Loomis said, again, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, meaning I don't want to see his eyes. I want to see the darkness in the eyes, saying, for the majority of my movie, you only got to see those pure dark eyes. Like there's like one little glance in the police car between Allison and Dr. Sartain, where you get to see Michael Myers' one eye and his one blind eye, just for a split second. But other than that, we do not get to see his eyes. He is still a badass, freaking killing people. Like he doesn't care who he has to kill, which, again, I'm glad you brought up your story, Brad, about the brother-sister dynamic in your movie. Mine didn't have that. They established real quickly that Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are not related, which to me makes Michael Myers more creepy and more like us not understanding. I don't want to understand Michael Myers. Like he's not supposed to have a motive. He's just going to do whatever pops in his head. And unlike yours, even though I think in yours too, not only was he going after Laurie Strode, but I think he was also going after John too as one of his targets, just to get to Laurie Strode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know one thing. Are you done? Or are you still?
No,
talking?
I'm done. There's so much more, but I think I hit the big nails.
We'll just say this. Okay, 2018, it's the winner. You can't beat it. The mask is great. It's probably my favorite mask. His look, his movements, perfect. H20 looks like they just grabbed a crackhead off the road, went to Party City, got the costume, said, put this costume on, walk around with this. I watched it the other night, and it was terrible.
He was used pretty well in H2O though.
He looks terrible.
He looked bad. He looked very bad, but he was in darkness throughout the whole movie. Except for that one scene.
I wonder why, so they could hide that hideous face.
Well, that's because it's in the MO of Michael's character to stay in the shadows, and you don't see a lot of daylight scenes with him.
Yeah, but you still need that money shot though with Michael Myers at some point. Yeah, agree. He works best from the shadows, but at one point you gotta have one clear picture of Michael Myers, and mine nailed it on that one. Is when he was putting back on that mask after 40 years without it. Oh, again, that for chill bump moment. Yours didn't really have that clear moment.
I think if you change up H2O, like you give, a better Michael movie, it goes way up.
And Chris Duran, who played Michael Myers in H2O, I didn't feel like he didn't do a bad job. He was just set up to fail immediately with the look of Michael Myers.
Ridiculous look. His hair was all spiky and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think if you change that up in that movie, that's one of its biggest downfalls. If you fix that, you got a way better movie on your hands.
And again, you had $17 million. So what the hell did you do with that $17 million to screw the most important thing of Michael Myers is the mask?
There was some reason why they didn't. They had to use a different mask, right?
There's a story behind it. I just didn't go much into it because I just figured people want to talk about me. So.
Anything else you guys want to add about Michael?
I'm done with that category.
Okay.
I'm sure you are.
All right, let's see here. A question that I have is, and I think it kind of sets the movies apart. Which movie has the best supporting cast, like the better
I was just thinking, so please ask that question.
Well, okay, Brett, let's start it off then. Go ahead.
Brad or me?
No, Brett, go ahead.
Okay. Gosh almighty, my supporting cast is just way better than H2O's supporting cast, because at least a lot of people in my movie can actually act. Because, you know, you got Judy Greer as Karen. She's known in a lot of movies. And, of course, you got
Judy Greer was the first person you mentioned after you saying your people can act?
Yeah.
Do what?
Judy Greer is the first person you mentioned when you said your people can act?
Oh, again, there's there's a lot of people in this movie, too.
You're struggling already.
No, y'all. I can't believe y'all just disrespecting Judy Greer.
She had the worst scene in the movie.
Oh shit! Hey, now she gets a lot. She gets a little too much hate. But the main person I was going for is Will Patton playing Sheriff Frank Hawkins. Of course, he's known in a lot of movies too, and he did a very good job. And it's just like, mainly my characters are just at least more interesting, but you can actually invest yourself into, like Allison, which is Laurie Strodes' niece and the daughter of Karen. Her main role in this is to pretty much play the Laurie Strode of 1978, but not just to copy her, but to also be her own character as well. And I feel like they did a really good job at that. And then, of course, we got our husband, Roy. Oh man, we got Roy, which I didn't like him.
Thanks
so
for bringing that one up.
We're gonna quickly.
That's not helping you.
No, it's not going to help me, but I just figure I throw that out there. But of course, we have to cheer for.
Brett, you have one more minute. You got one more minute.
Okay, one more minute. Okay. Then I'll quickly throw out real quick. For every strong protagonist, you got to have an antagonist. And not only do you have Michael Myers, you also have Dr. Sartain, and we hated Dr. Sartain, but again, we also liked him because he had that one of the most brutal death scenes in the whole entire movie. It
was also a ripoff of a Kill from Another Halloween movie, but either way. So are you done, Brett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently my time is up, which
yeah.
I know I rambled. So
okay,
no,
so I think I got a good category here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start off. We got obviously Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in here at the beginning. That's a win. Okay, he's great. He's probably better than anybody in 2018. But we'll get on to that. He dies pretty quick. We got LL Cool J. Okay, he's out there rocking a security booth, writing novels. Okay, he's awesome. He's entertaining, fun character. That's beside that. You got Janet Leigh in here. Okay, you got the mother of Jamie Lee Curtis in here, with the Psycho cameo of her car from the 1960s Psycho movie. Awesome stuff. Great callback to see Jamie Lee and her real mom working together in a Halloween movie. Awesome stuff. But then you have freaking Josh Hartnett, who I thought was way better than, obviously, Judy Greer, the daughter of Laurie in Halloween 2018. And I think he's better utilized than Amy Matichak, Allison from 2018. I liked Allison in 2018, but I thought she was underutilized. You didn't get much from her character. She was there, pretty often, but she didn't really have any character developments, and she was just kind of there. She was just kind of there for another character, but you didn't really get a sense of connection between Jamie and either one of her daughters, Laurie, and either one of her daughters in 2018. Whereas you do have a complicated relationship with her and Josh Hartnett in H2O. And I thought he was a good character as John. I thought he was, again, they had the complicated relationship with one another, and I thought he did a good job of carrying the movie when Jamie wasn't on screen. Laurie, you actually kind of cared for his character, and they kind of built him up. He had interactions with other people. It wasn't just some weird ass dance scene interactions where phones get thrown in some pudding. Like it was. He actually had a nice setup where he's breaking out, he's getting his little his champagne and his off-campus lunch and stuff. You build him up. You actually become a fan of his character. So when Michael's chasing him at the end, you actually care about it, I think. So I think he's the strongest point. But then you also, I thought Adam Arkin did a pretty good job as Will Brennan. Like he was fine, a nice little side character for Laurie, somebody else that she can kind of interact with, a boyfriend, if you will. I thought that was cool. So I think, I legitimately do prefer the characters in H2O, I think, more, just because they're utilized better. And Josh Hartnett's a big reason for that. And even his friends, I thought, did a good job. I don't know their names per se, but I think they were, for the most part, they were pretty good.
I got to agree with Brad on this one. I think H2O far better cast. Good actors. I don't know. I felt like the movie just flowed a little bit better with all the actors in the movie. Nothing was forced. I liked, Josh in the movie as the son. I liked him in other movies as well, but I think did a good job. Wish he had a bigger role in the movie, to be honest with you. I think his friends did a good job. Like, I feel like in 2018, I feel like the scenes with the friends and the boyfriends, they just didn't feel right to me. I didn't feel like the movie flowed as well. I feel like I think overall H2O definitely wins this for me. Just from watching both movies in one day, I just feel like the acting was so much better than H2O than 2018. Brett, you want to?
Yeah, do you mind if I throw something out here?
Yeah, go for it.
You said, Brad, that Allison didn't have a lot of character development in her movie, which, yes, I will agree with you on that. I think they were just showing you, like, briefly of what she is about, like her high school life, her relationship, not only with her friends, but also with her family. But again, she wasn't supposed to have a big role because I feel like they just threw her out there just to see if the audience would gravitate towards her, which I feel like a lot of people did. So in this next movie of Halloween Kills, you're going to get your character development of her. Trust me, they're going to ramp her up times 10.
I think, yeah, I mean, she's got
but did
potential.
Josh ever come back?
Well, no, because they ended the story pretty much. But I think that the characters overall, by and large, in 2018 were underutilized. Amy Matichak, Judy Greer was pretty awful throughout. She had a good moment there at the end. And then Ray was the most pointless character. You take Ray out of this movie.
The dad?
Yeah.
The dad is
better on my penis.
He's the worst part of the movie.
You take him out, and it changes the movie. No changes whatsoever. Like
the dialogue was awful.
Yeah, the dialogue was bad, and he was just worthless. There was no point for him to even be there.
Yeah.
He served no point. He served no purpose for the story. And I thought, just in general, Amy Matichak's, like you said, the high school thing. Like, I didn't care about any of that. That took me out of the movie. Anytime there was a scene where they go to the dance and they're playing playing, I was like, I don't care about any of this. I didn't care about the characters at all. But I thought she did a pretty good job. I just didn't think she was utilized very well.
Yeah, right. I think the 2018. I mean, your highlights are Jamie Lee Curtis.
But it was her movie. That's
I know. I'm saying you don't have a lot. And then of course I'd like to see more of the sheriff. I can't remember his name. Terrible names.
Frank Hawkins.
The guy from Armageddon.
Deputy Hawkins. Yeah.
Yes. Will Patton.
He's a good actor.
Killed him off, though.
Yeah, I know. I was a little disappointed in that. I think that's another highlight. The granddaughter was not bad. Terrible names, but you don't have a lot of. I don't know. It's just not good chemistry. I don't think in the movie with a lot of that. Like Brad said, with the phone and the pudding, that was so random. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just showing Cameron being a douchebag, though, which you want that in his character.
But they didn't really have much like story with that. It's like all of a sudden he has a problem with their phone. He's like, "Give me your phone. I'm gonna throw it in here." Like, and you really didn't, from watching the movie, you didn't really realize that that's an issue with them. He just kind of comes up and grabs the phone, and you're just like, what was that about? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well,
I don't know. I didn't feel like it was a good chemistry with everybody in that movie.
And just to throw real quickly at that, I feel like that was mainly directed towards like the younger viewing audience because they can relate to like kind of situation like that. But us original like Halloween fans, like just growing up with it, we can easily see this as Jamie Lee Curtis's movie, and we didn't really care for too much of the newer characters, but those newer characters are more gravitating towards the newer audience to try to get them to be Halloween fans too, and to go back and watch the original films as well. So I feel like those new characters are for them, while the older characters are for us.
Yeah.
They didn't do a very good job of gravitating.
A quick question. I kind of thought this earlier, since we're talking about the cast. What if you switched around her child in the movie? Like, you put John in the 2018, take the daughter and put it in H2O. Who has the better movie? Who's gonna?
I really like the dynamic between her and Josh Hartnett. I thought they had a great chemistry together. You could just tell how complicated. I mean, the relationship, from what they were writing, was supposed to be more complicated between Judy and Laurie, but you didn't really. They didn't do a very good job of fleshing that out and letting you feel it. I thought you felt more of the complicated relationship with John, and they had a somewhat normal relationship. So I thought they had a better chemistry for sure. So if you put her in 2018, I think that would really, or Josh in 2018. I think
that changes
helped
the
out
movie a lot. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it does. It could easily change the movie a lot because, again, you add another star power into that movie. But again, with Allison, some kind of like her, she's again directed towards the newer audience. She's a brand new actress on the scene, kind of like how Jamie Lee Curtis was a brand new actress in 1978's Halloween. That was her first big role. And I feel like that's again more towards an homage to the OG fans. Like, hey, we're creating this character that's kind of like the character you all grew up with, but we're using her to attract a brand new generation of Halloween fans.
I dig.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. Something else. Something else I think is pretty big that I was going to ask is, which movie has a better ending?
Whose turn is it to go first?
Let's see.
I might lose this one.
You might lose it? Oh, I don't know. Brett, then you lead the way, Brett.
Okay. Just to quickly sum it up, the way my movie ends is Michael is led to the to Laurie Strode's cabin in the woods.
Cabin in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. But no demons or anything like that. Which actually, take that back. Michael Myers is there, and he's having this big old brawl with Laurie Strode, Karen, and Allison. I wouldn't really say Allison. Allison just does one big stab with the knife thing towards the end, but they have some whole big brawl, and they capture Michael Myers into this trap, and they set the whole cabin on fire just to kill him, which I thought that was a very awesome idea. I wasn't really expecting it. I thought they were just, trying to kill him, or just like Laurie was just trying to kill him, but I just didn't know how they were going to do it. And just to set the whole cabin on fire was just a great idea in my book. But I feel like even the more better way is the alternate ending where they, Laurie Strode and Michael Myers were having the knife battle out on the front yard, which they showed that in the trailer. I thought that would have been a better ending in my book, but the whole cabin burning was also a great one too to end it on.
All right, Brad.
Well, I think, just to recap, I think the ending of 2018 was one of my least favorite parts of the movie just because it's so abrupt. They're duking it out. And it was a good scene when they're at the house and they shoot Michael's thumb off or 3 fingers off and he's freaking dripping blood and it plays the awesome music and it's a cool scene. But then it just ends out of nowhere. And it wasn't a very definite ending for me. And I think that was kind of because you trap him down there and light it on fire and you run away. That leaves a lot of avenues for him to get out, which we'll see. And I know they're kind of setting up a sequel, but at the same time, I would have rather have seen a more a final ending there for me. But that being said, I'm glad there's more movies coming out, guys and gals. But either way, going on to H2O, I thought the ending was actually very good. I mean, it was the one of the best parts. Whenever Laurie, it gets set up earlier in the movie when she's in class, she's asking the student, and it's kind of a callback to the original Halloween movie where she's in class and talking to the teacher. And Josh Hartnett's girlfriend answers the question about you're going to have to finally face your monster and all that. And that's a foreshadowing there towards the ending where Jamie, she's terrified of Michael throughout the whole thing. And then at the end, she gets the kiddos out. They're like, all right, go down there to the freaking Becker's house, call the police, do as I say. She grabs the axe. She shuts the gate. She smashes it. She grabs the axe. And she just it finally plays the Halloween theme, albeit a random version of it. And she's doing the Michael, and it's just a badass scene. She is finally here to battle her freaking monster once and for all. She's put fear aside, and she gets the kids out, and it's just a one-on-one. I'm locking us in here. I got my axe, and I'm looking for your ass now. So I think that, to me, was awesome just to see her finally face her monster. She goes in there. They have a nice battle session, which is pretty good, nonstop action. They get a nice knife battle. He hits her with the axe. They freaking go down the table flipping thing. And then, there's a little knife battle. And then she stabs him multiple times. He falls off. And then you get the best part, which to me, this is the end of the freaking franchise. Resurrection doesn't happen. So you get the best part where he freaking hijacks the body of Michael. She does. Takes the gun, throws him in the van, drives off to the river, not the river, but that's where vans go, down by the river. But anyway, she drives him. They do the nice for she hits the brakes and he comes flying out, and then she runs his ass over. They go tumbling down the mountain, and just a freaking perfect ending from there, where he's reaching up to her and she's like, oh yeah, Michael, I love you. And then freaking and it plays the music, the head goes rolling, and then it finally plays the actual official John Carpenter Halloween music to end the credits. And it was just a perfect ending to the franchise. I think they should have left it there. Beautiful ending. She faced her monster, she conquered her monster, evil's been conquered, and she is good to go. Freaking phenomenal stuff. It matches up with the message from the first movie. It matches up with the theme for this movie of facing your monsters. And she's good to go. Love it.
Well, I don't know. For me, I go with 2018. I don't know. I think 2018, you got a good solid beginning of the movie and you got a solid ending to the movie. I like it because it leaves it open for sequels. I just what I want. H2O was more, I don't know, how are you going to make a sequel of that? They tried and it was awful. Like I think because they try to make a sequel to that movie, it kind of ruins the ending for me on H2O. Like all I can think of is
here.
This guy's not Michael Myers that she's killing. I know if you leave that movie, I know if you leave it by itself, it's a solid ending. That's going to be the end game. I like it. But it's not. I mean, they try to go from that. They try to, Michael's a firefighter. He's walking off into the woods or whatever will happen. That's all I can think of when I watch that movie at the end of the movie. I'm like, this is not happening. It just ruins it for me. If Resurrection didn't come out, I'd probably think a little bit differently. But once you cut his head off, where are you going to go from there? You're not going to have another sequel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This what I like about 2018 is they left it open. And I think the last 20 minutes of that movie is so intense. It's good. I didn't exactly see what was happening when it was happening, like trapping him in the basement. I don't know. I was real excited about the ending of the movie. H2O. To be honest with you, I like H2O except for maybe the last 15 minutes of it. It didn't pull it home for me on H2O. Like it's one of the things I would try to fix about H2O is the ending.
Or just making sure Halloween Resurrection never happens.
Now, we'll throw this in there. If Halloween 2018 can discredit all the movies that came before it, H2O can discredit the one that came after it.
It can. Right. But for me, though, how terrible Resurrection, it just stands out to me. I don't know. No matter what happens going forward, I'm going to think of the beginning of Resurrection. I'm going to tie it with that movie.
That's kind of like with me with Scream and Scary Movie. It's kind of hard to picture Scream if you watch Scary Movie because you kind of compare the two. Just like in H2O, you compare that last scene with the beginning of Halloween Resurrection. Like, again, it ruins it for you. But I'm on the side of Brad, too, that if Halloween Resurrection never happened and that scene alone stood on its own, absolutely that scene better than mine. But I'm with you, Eric. It did happen. We have to accept the whole timeline and the franchise for what it offers, for what it gives us. And just for my ending, or just like to leave the audience like, hey, I want more of this particular story. My movie delivered on that.
Yeah. Anything else?
I feel good about it.
You feel good about it?
I was like, that's the tough one. Like, again, I love the H2O ending, too. It's just the Halloween Resurrection.
It did.
For me.
I mean, I like the
ending.
It's
not disrespect to H2O. It's just the way.
I mean, I like it if it's ending Laurie Strode's arc. It's a good ending.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. For me though, I like to leave it hanging at the end just a little bit. That's just my personal take. I like maybe he's dead, maybe he's alive. You just don't know. Kind of leaves it open for other things. So. Let's see here. Next question, and this is for me. I kind of thought of this today. I thought it was kind of interesting. If you could add Dr. Loomis to one of your movies, which one are you going to add him to? Like, you get prime Dr. Loomis. He's in his prime. You're going to put it. He's going to be in your movie. You're going to give him a role to play. Where's he going to fit better? Like. You got to insert. You have to insert him in your movie. What are you going to do with him? And whose movie's better for him to be in?
I would.
Yeah, in your movie, you got Brad. You got to forget that breaking into the office, he's gone. He's passed away.
Yeah.
You buy that. You're gonna have to change a few things, but I mean, where would you like to see a Dr. Loomis?
I would like to throw him into H2O for the reason being again that Halloween 2 exists in this timeline, and I love Halloween 2. It's a great time, and I think Dr. Loomis in that movie kind of carries it a lot, and he does really well in the second one. So I think you would get, you would have that Dr. Loomis that was in the first one and the second one come back. You have those events. You have more history with Loomis to present into this movie in this timeline. Whereas in Halloween 2018, you would only have the first movie's version of Loomis, and which is fine. Obviously, that's his best performance as Loomis, but I think you have more. You would have more if all the other movies didn't exist, and you had Halloween 1, 2, and H2O, and then you had Halloween 1 in 2018, Loomis, I think, would be a more important character in that timeline just because you have two movies with him, and it would be cool. I think it would be good to have him in there and at the beginning of the movie, and then maybe he comes out to California as well, and yeah, I think it would be good. I mean, he'd be good in the second one in 2018 as well. He's always going to be a win, but again, you just don't have as much history with him at that point.
Okay.
And you said we get prime Donald Pleasence.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because like I say, if we just get Dr. Loomis, like again from 40 years later, I'm pretty sure he would be dead. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's in his prime. He looks just like you remember. Yeah.
He's in his prime. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I think Dr. Loomis in his prime would be better for H2O because if you put him in my movie, you have two doctors. Of Dr. Loomis and Dr. Sartain, and trying to juggle them between them as being the doctor of Michael Myers, it's just going to be confusing and just a little out of control. But where were you going, Brad?
Well, I was going to say, just kind of to piggyback off of that, you would have to have Sartain in there too because you couldn't just replace him because Sartain's what brings Michael to glory. But
yeah, he was his doctor after Dr. Loomis retired. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like what they could have done, like if again we have Dr. Loomis in my movie, is you have a good doctor that is trying to actually help people, while you can have Dr. Sartain be the evil prick doctor like he was in this movie, and just explode him of like, hey, we should let's see what's the mind is like of a killer. So let's explore that. And Dr. Loomis like, no. Our job is not to promote evil or to understand evil. Our jobs is to get rid of evil. And I feel like that clash between the two, and Dr. Sartain could be the one that lets Michael out into Haddonfield and just to study him in his natural habitat, pretty much. And as Dr. Loomis is trying to, stop Michael Myers along with Laurie Strode, like that team up would be amazing as well. Just to stop not only Michael Myers, but also to stop Dr. Sartain. And Dr. Sartain keeps on doing stuff that prevents them from stopping Michael Myers and let Michael Myers continue on with his rampage. So I actually feel like that clash can be great.
It'd be cool. I like the idea of if you throw Loomis in the H2O, he kills the nurse at the beginning, so that kind of makes things even more personal for him. And then you get Michael following Laurie to California because he's obsessed with her, and then you get Loomis following Michael. You get Michael following Laurie to California, and then you get Loomis following Michael to California because he's so obsessed with Michael. So you get a double little whammy there. I think that'd be kind of cool, and just to see more interactions with the nurse and him, maybe at the beginning, or maybe no interactions because she's dead. But either way, I think it would. Yeah, they had that connection, and you could feel more for her death too.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with both of you. I mean, it's just a random thing I thought of. Throw him in these movies.
He needs to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Any chance there's a Halloween movie, you got to add Donald Pleasence.
I mean, you definitely have to make some changes,
possible.
But I like 2018 versus Dr. Sartain or whatever his name is. Like you have those two guys against each other. I think that'd be interesting to see. And then I like him H2O as well, like chasing Michael down. Being there. I don't know.
Like again, Dr. Loomis being in Halloween H2O makes a lot more sense than being in my movie. Because, like again, if you do my idea for my movie for Dr. Loomis versus Dr. Sartang, it kind of like gets distracted to the main story they tried to tell, and that's just between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. Because again, Halloween 2018 was their movie, so you don't want to distract it with like a side thing of Dr. Loomis versus Dr. Sartang. So that's why I feel like Dr. Loomis is better suited for Halloween H2O, which, trust me, they need Halloween H2O need another big time player, and Donald Pleasence can help fix that movie.
Hey, while we're talking about Dr. Loomis, give us an impression there, Bert.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, you see, I would not be better suited for Halloween 2018. Guys, when I keep on thinking about Michael, I get all flabbergasted, and I shot him 6 times. 6 times.
Oh man, that's great.
Again, I do a terrible Dr. Loomis, so I do apologize.
Not too bad. All right, I guess we'll do another big question: is what movie has the better score? You know, music, anything. You know, Brett, you want to lead the way?
Yeah. Where to begin? Brad keeps on saying about my scores of not bringing Mr. Sandman and all that, which would it be awesome to include that in my movie as like a flashback or just a homage? Absolutely. But again, we're trying to draw in a brand new audience, which the newer audience in today, like up-tempo music and just, like things with a good beat. So John Carpenter and his son Cody, is that correct? Yeah, Cody Carpenter, that gets his influence on the. I was like, okay, we can bring back the original soundtrack of the da 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 da, but we need to get the newer audience to dig it. So let's just ramp it up, going dun 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 dun. Oh, I mean, like I loved it, and I'll even be controversial right now. I think the Halloween 2018 score soundtrack is better than the original. I know it's ballsy, but that's just how I feel. And that one scene where Allison sees Michael Myers for the first time, and then you hear that burn. Oh, that fitted perfectly for that particular moment of the movie. And just like anything in this movie too, that like the sounds, the music they chose, everything was just in place. Like it just fit in that particular moment. And of course, they bring back the classic too. And it's just, at least like again, the last thing I'll say is with my movie, we didn't need to copy Scream and try to sound like Scream. We are our own original film. We are freaking Halloween. We don't need to copy from nobody. So that is why we came up with our score and soundtrack that we did.
Okay, Brad?
Yeah, I can't dispute that. You're definitely going to win this category. That score soundtrack for Halloween 2018 was absolutely phenomenal. It was badass. And the one for H2O, aside from Mr. Sandman, the rest of it was horse's ass.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I liked your Halloween theme too.
The Halloween theme was okay. I prefer the original and the one they did in 2018. But and then during the chase scenes and stuff, it plays that generic ass Scream music, like you said, literally ripped off from Scream. And whereas you could have easily replaced that with the classic shape stocks and themes from the original movie, and it would have increased the value of this movie, I think, tremendously. I think it would have made the whole ending 10 times better just to have Halloween music in it. Especially when he's chasing after, she hits him with the fire extinguisher and he falls down and he sits back up, which was a cool scene, but the music behind it was awful. He chased him down the stairs and stuff and is playing Scream music. There's no suspense being built from the music at all. It's very generic, and it doesn't do any good for the movie. So all I can do is bash the score for Halloween H2O. I can't defend it whatsoever. Aside from the very end, head comes off and then the original theme plays for the first time in the whole movie. And that was my best part, but other than that, I got nothing.
And let me ask a quick question real quick. At the beginning of the movie too, when that random person pulls out the knife and stabs the pumpkin, why do we have to hear a whoosh Like, how sharp is that knife going into the pumpkin? You know, like we shouldn't hear that kind of sound effect. That threw me off at the beginning of the movie.
Sharp enough, my friend.
Yeah, 2018 all the way. It's I don't know. Can't argue with that. So, anything else you guys want to add?
No, besides that, I really want to own the final album for Halloween 2018 so bad. It's just
I
so
agree.
good and expensive with every right to be.
Okay. All right. One of my last questions is, we all watch movies, and we see things that we wanna fix, maybe mistakes in the movie. Which movie has less mistakes? Which movie could you make an awesome Halloween movie? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like each movie, if I change this or that, I've got an awesome Halloween movie. Which movie do you think could be better if you change the mistakes?
Yeah, like I would say, like there are movies where even bad ones you could easily find something extremely negative and turn into an immediate positive. But sure, even in good movies too, you can find a negative too and make it even better too. So there's like easily for everything. But I feel like the one with the mistakes that you can easily turn into a great movie. I would say my movie's already great already, so I'm going to give that to H2O. If he easily fixed that stupid ass mask, or excuse me, masks, you could easily like turn that movie just to average to very good in a heartbeat too. Because I feel like even Chris Duran could have a better performance too, not being distracted with the mask as well. That would be the first immediate thing I would change in H2O to make that better. But if I were to change something in mine, I would like clean up the middle act because like it does go all over the place, and we need just the consistent down and just again focus on who it is truly about. Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. You set that up immediately at the beginning. That's what the movie's about. We need to continue playing off that. And I feel like that was absent of pretty much the majority of the second act.
Yeah, I think for me, I think you can make the biggest changes with H2O to make it. You can make that movie really great by just making some minor adjustments, like giving a better mask in there for Michael, a better look overall, and then better music. Those two things alone, it freaking changes the whole landscape of that movie because I think you have a lot of things going for it with the characters. You have a good performance from Jamie Lee in there, and then again, her son I think is great. So you have some stuff to get behind. You just make those two adjustments, and I think it turns into a completely different movie. It goes up big time for me. Whereas 2018, there's a few little things you could mix, but there's still more. I mean, I think it would. There's still some lack of character interest in there that would be a little bit harder to fix. But yeah, definitely some things you could do to make that movie better as well.
I agree. I think H2O, like what Brad said, you make those few changes. I think you got an excellent movie, better than I originally thought. When I went back and rewatched it, I was like, oh, if I did this and that, I mean, you got it'd probably be in my top 3, maybe top 4, definitely movie. But with some of those mistakes, it drops out of there. Same thing with 2018. For me with that movie, I like the beginning and I like the end. The middle, I would have to make some changes. To be honest with you, with that movie, I would want different actors, probably maybe a little bit better dialogue. I thought some of the dialogue in the movie was not very good. I think I watched it for the 3rd time yesterday. It still holds up. I still like it. I think the atmosphere in the movie is really good for me. Anyways, a lot of pluses about it, but I think I would have to make more changes to that movie to make it like excellent. I still think it's a good movie. It's still, if I had to rank it, it's probably going to be in my top 5. Probably, I'd have to look at it, but I think H2O surprised me with just a few changes. You've got a great movie, I believe.
I agree with that.
I mean, I think if you put both these movies on paper, I think you'd surprise a lot of people with H2O. Like, it's a good movie. I think on paper it almost beats 2018 with some of the things. But I don't know. Whatever you get, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. The script I thought was really good, and whereas 2018, I think it's got some more fundamental issues with the characters and the script in general. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun watch, and it's glorious to look at, and the music's amazing. But like you said, the dialogue's not as good. The characters aren't as good. You don't find yourself caring about the characters quite as much. And you get so many callbacks in there, it kind of takes you out. I mean, they were kind of cool to see, but a lot of the best scenes in the movie are ripoffs of scenes from other movies. And so that's kind of another problem that kind of holds it back a little bit. But overall, yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, when you look at the scripts, I like the one, 2018 was kind of, they made it a joke at times with the fingernail kid clipping his nails in the basement, or not the basement, but the closet scene happens.
Julian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he was funny. He was a great character. I mean, he was a funny kid, lovely kid.
Better than the dad.
Yeah, oh
but
yeah, for sure.
He was so distracting.
But it took you out of that. It would have been a frightening moment, and he kind of just made it a joke real quick, and kind of took you out of that moment. But
my opinion on that is, what's his name, Danny McBride. Like, I like him. I'm a fan of him. I've liked some of his comedy movies. I think he tries to insert some of that comedy in that movie, and it kind of it's just not necessary in the movie. That's what really. I think if you take that out, I hope in the next movie they learn from those little things. I think they can make it a lot better.
I think so too.
Especially if they take out some of that stuff. The humor just didn't work for me in 2018.
And it's okay to have humor, but you don't want to force it, like the peanut butter on the penis and Julian with the oh shit. Like if you get him to actually be scared, kind of like how Tommy Doyle and Lindsay were in their original films, kind of have him kind of like be like that, it would have been just fine, and I would have liked Julian. But that closet scene alone and his reaction to it just totally ruined what could be one of the best things in the movie. Which again, the argument too is they showed that into the trailer too, which I feel like that was a mistake to show that scene in the trailer. But again, it was still an unraveling scene, and again, stupid Julian had to ruin it for me.
Oh yeah.
All right, last question, serious question. What movie do you want to see Busta Rhymes come back to?
Oh man!
Just kidding. Just kidding. But hey, LL Cool J, he did good in H2O.
I enjoyed his character, but how did he freaking survive 5 shots?
He survives in every movie he's in. Have you not seen
Deep Blue Sea, dude?
Yeah.
Money, make the world go round.
Oh yeah. But other than that, I don't really have any more questions about the movies. The questions you sent me were pretty much what I was going to ask anyways.
Do you mind if I ask one more question?
Go for it, yeah.
Let's talk about the kills.
Okay.
And I'll even let Brad go first.
Well, I think obviously in H2O, they're more creative. Because again, Halloween 2018's kills were great, and they were brutal and they were violent, but a lot of them are ripoffs from other movies. The bathroom scene, again, those kills are awesome. I'm not taking away from the kills themselves, but the overall setting of the kills. The bathroom scene is total ripoff of my movie here, H2O. Those kills were awesome. Those probably my favorite kills of the movie, honestly. But they're still there in the bathroom, just like H2O. You go to the freaking mechanic shop, just like Halloween 4. It's all just kind of, he kills the mechanic to get his suit, just like Halloween 4, just like it. And then you get Sartain's kill, which is cool, but that's Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie, where he smashes the guy's head in at the strip club. And then you get like freaking Ray. He just gets choked out. Decent little kill, but nobody liked Ray anyway. I did like the one. I also like the one where the dude gets impaled on the fence. I think that was probably one of the more different ones they put in there.
Yeah, that was my personal favorite because I thought that was a creative kill.
Yeah, I like that one and whatnot. And the two cops, the off scene deaths I thought were really good in Halloween 2018, where the dude gets stabbed in the neck and he's hanging there. And Vicky's kill wasn't very good because Julian, and it was just kind of generic anyway. But I liked the H2O kills. You get the ice skate in the head where he's just sitting there. I mean, that was awesome. That's Joseph
that was
Gordon,
a great
dude.
practical effect.
Yeah, it was a great effect. You got the little elevator kill where her legs gets crushed and she's just scooting along, and then she ends up getting freaking strung up on the lights. That was pretty cool. And then the other dude, the other kid, it's where's the corkscrew, Ted? Kind of like from Friday Part 4. Where he drops the corkscrew down in the
that was
Charlie.
Disposal.
Yeah, Charlie. That one was pretty good, I thought. Well, I mean, it set up nicely. Aside from the CGI mask, it was kind of cool. I think it was kind of a generic kill, but it was nice. And then Michael's kill at the end with the axe was great. And then we did have kind of one callback where her boyfriend gets killed with the knife, and he lifts him up, kind of like in Halloween 2. But aside from that, I mean, I thought the kills were one of the stronger points of H2O. I thought they had some pretty good ones in there. And again, the 2018 kills were awesome and brutal, but I just think most of them were too callbacky for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's fair. I'm going to give it to you. Yours were more creative, and the setup for your kills were a lot better than mine. But I would say what gets my kills to like the advantage over yours. My kills not only like were brutal, they were just very unsettling and makes you feel super uncomfortable. Like the bathroom scene, which and I'm pretty sure from what I remember, your bathroom scene, nobody died.
No, he just
mine
looked at him.
actually had the balls to kill somebody, especially choking out a girl, because I can see a lot of people like find that maybe a little offensive, but again, it's a movie. So I feel like just them daring them to do that, just how uncomfortable, especially like spreading the teeth around. Oh.
I can't disagree. And I like he kills the kid in the truck.
And do we ever imagine Michael Myers being a kid killer?
No. He did spend 3 movies trying to kill his 8-year-old niece. So there's that.
Well, that kid had dance class to get to. So
he did. He did.
Yeah, and then of course, what they also had the balls to do in my movie is putting it in your mind that he's capable of killing a baby.
Yeah,
they
threw that possibility out there. I do love the kills in the tracking shot with the 3 kills there or 2 kills. All that was set up really cool. That was actually probably they weren't my favorite kills, but it was definitely my favorite setup for the kills, just because it all was one kind of tracking shot. That was really cool.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, again, for your movie, I'm going to say the setups were really spot on and well done. While my movie, they just make you feel super uncomfortable to watch, which for a horror movie, that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Eric, do you have anything to add on to that?
I kind of agree with both of you. I see both sides of it. 2018, I really liked them. I think they're just more brutal, which is what I like in movies. But I don't know. I agree with both of you. I think they both had good kills. H2O might have been a little bit more creative since 2018 does, a lot of callbacks. But I still like them. I don't know. That's one of the positives for me in the movie is 2018 is the kills, and he's not afraid to go after anybody in the movie. He kills a little kid. I didn't see that coming. And then H2O, he just looks at the daughter and can't remember if it's or the mom and the daughter or the mom and the son. I can't remember. He just kind of looks at him and leaves him, which I thought was kind of odd in the movie, but I don't know. I like both kills, both movies, so no winner for me.
I do as well. Good times. I do like the brutalness of 2018.
Oh, yeah. Brad, do you have any additional questions you want to throw in here?
No more questions, man. I feel pretty good about it. I think everything's kind of been clipped over, I think, as far as questions go, I think.
Yeah, it's like that. I saw one quote that just really got me interested of why she would say something, and that's Jamie Lee Curtis. I read an article, and she claimed that H2O at the very beginning was supposed to be I'm kind of paraphrasing here for a minute. It was at the beginning, it was not supposed to be a cash grab opportunity. It was supposed to be a serious Halloween movie. But just along the way, as the movie progressed on set and everything, it turned into a cash grabbing opportunity. And that's what she said. The only reason she did H2O was for the money. But for my movie, when she read the script, she's like, oh, these people are going to actually respect what John Carpenter and Deborah Hill have put into the Halloween franchise. And I better do my part and to not only just, finish off the Laurie Strode story, but to also help a younger cast too and their characters progress the franchise as well.
But yeah, we'll just do in closing. I think this is all off the record now, ladies and gentlemen. I really got the short end of this stick in this Slash It Out episode. We're not going to count this as a part of the argument because I am going to say that 2018 is a better movie overall, and I really grasp at some freaking straws to make a case for H2O. I did have a pretty good time with it this time around. Usually I'm not a big fan of it, but just kind of looking for the positives and stuff. I enjoyed it. Had a good time with it, and there are some good things in it, and a lot of potential there. But overall, 2018 to me is a much better movie, and I think it's better in most categories. Even though I made my strongest case against it, but yeah, I mean, overall, it's good. Good episode. Just wanted to do this special kind of Halloween episode for you guys today, since it is Halloween, and yeah, after we figured what a better way than to slash it out with two Halloween movies that are very similar in plot.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only similar in plot, but similar lores. Just a lot of similarities. That's why we thought it was going to be a good matchup. Again, I agree with Brad. I love Halloween 2018. I think it's the far superior film. But when I watched H2O this time around, I was focusing on the negatives, but I also noticed a lot of the potential that the movie had. If you just would have tweaked stuff in it, it could easily go into my top 4 too. And that's why I guess, hate on it, because I knew all the potential it had, especially with its budget, and they just did not succeed in it. But with Halloween H2O, I did respect it for what it tried to be, but I've just, again, with the back of my mind of what it could have been, that's just what sets me back on it.
Completely agree with you guys. I don't think I've seen H2O, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. Like, I just wasn't one of my favorite movies. And then when you guys were going to do this, I thought at first, I was like, man, why are you guys doing those movies? But I'm glad you did, because actually I went back and watched H2O, and I think I was
saw
with
those
Brad.
similarities.
I did. I saw a lot of similarities, and I saw a lot of more positives than I thought I would find in the movie, to be honest with you. I think if you make some changes to the movie, it's actually a solid movie. Like I said earlier, like on paper, I think it's a good movie. I think when you kind of like play it out, if you're telling someone about this movie, they're gonna be, okay, that sounds like a good movie. Let's watch it. They didn't execute very well when they come to making the movie. I do think H2O or 2018 is a better movie. I would, if you threw both movies in front of me and I had to watch one of them for the rest of my life, I'm picking 2018 all the way. But I don't know. I enjoyed watching both movies yesterday. I don't know.
Fun fact, you guys may or may not know this. Do you know the director, Stephen Miner of H2O, did Friday the 13th Part 2? And
yes.
Oh, really?
Because that's what's confusing too. I loved Halloween 2 and what he did in that. I just don't understand how he can go from that to H2O. Like, I don't understand what his mindset was. I'm not sure if that's like just the kind of like the studio, it's like input, like forced input in there, because that's a big problem with movies today. It's just those studios can't learn just to let the director do their job.
they should have brought in the sackhead for Jason or for Michael in here from Part 2. I think it would have been better than the mask they used.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
But yeah, overall, it's good stuff, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to rank these real quick so we could just include them?
Like a rating?
Well, oh yeah, that's what I meant, a rating, not a ranking.
Yeah, we can throw them up there. I think I gave, I think I gave H2O, I think I gave it probably about 2.75.
A 2.75 for H2O.
Yeah.
And what about Halloween 2018?
Probably about 3.75. I think I had it at a 4. It's a 4 on my letterbox, but I think, I think 3.75 is probably where it needs to be.
Okay, I got you. For Halloween H2O, originally I had it at a 3 out of 5. I'm going to keep it at a 3 out of 5. Again, if they just made some simple changes, especially the mask and a little bit of just like the second act of the movie, it could have gone from just average to great immediately. So I'm going to keep it at a 3 out of 5. And for Halloween 2018, I had it a 4 out of 5 originally. I'm going to keep it a 4 out of 5 because it was a great movie. And as Eric says, there's some things you can switch up in the middle act of that movie and just like get rid of a lot of distractions and to focus on the main story. So, and of course, what Brad easily pointed out, the character development too, and just the characters they offered didn't really appease a lot of us too, except for like Allison. So that's why I'm going to keep it a 4 out of 5.
I like it. Eric, what do you think?
Let's see. If you would have asked me last week on H20, I would have said a 2 out of 5.
Same.
After rewatching it and kind of just looking into it and thinking about it, I'll bump it up to a 3 out of 5. It was better than I thought. And then with 2018, after first viewing, I was a 4 out of 5, solid. But after watching it for the third time, I'm dropping it down to a 3.5 out of 5.
That's fair.
I like it. That's kind of how they both work for me too. I went up a little bit with H2O and down a little bit with 2018. But
yeah,
again, they're both fun to watch. I don't have any major issues with them.
Yeah, like they're the fun movies to have in the Halloween franchise because trust me, Halloween franchise does offer up a lot of doozies.
Absolutely.
So I guess there's just one more question left to ask. What did you all think about Halloween H2O and Halloween 2018? And which one of us do you feel like did the better job defending their movie, and who do you think won? Be sure to leave a comment down below and to let us know. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so you will be notified when our latest video is uploaded.
Oh, yeah, and you can find us to join us on our journey of hunting the good reels, you can locate us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd. We're there. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, for me and Brad, Eric, thank you so much for being our special guest moderator. You did a awesome job for especially stopping me for rambling on one section of the video. I appreciate that. That's exactly why we talked about, or actually, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Eric, this was your idea to offer a moderator. So we appreciate you for mentioning this idea. So that's why we want you to be our very first moderator.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully we have you back down the road.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, we easily plan on having Eric back for future episodes. And for more Slash Outs too, we're going to bring on more special guest moderators for our particular Slash Out videos. And we cannot wait to share with you on who they are. But we're just going to keep it just a little secret for the moment.
And I know Eric here, he's got plenty of ideas on the road to Halloween Kills next year. We're going to be doing some episodes, bringing him in, and he's got some good ideas, what they can do, what they should do, and things like that. And we got a lot of stuff coming out that we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely. And from our last video of kind of like the recap of Good Real Hunting 2020 and just our little sneak peek of what Good Real Hunting 2021 is going to bring us. Like we said, we're going to pretty much dedicate the entire month to the Halloween franchise, and to especially with the Halloween Kills, which again, Eric is going to be involved with a lot of those videos, which we are so looking forward to, and we are so looking forward to that project.
Woo!
Woo! So with that, yeah, Eric,
I'm getting ready. I'm practicing.
Oh yeah, get the practice. On 3, we're going to
put the mask out though.
Yeah,
can we do it with the mask on?
Got to do it with the mask. Got to do it with the mask.
Let's do it.
Yes.
I didn't know we had CGI mask on here.
All right, on 3, we're going to do the finger point to say goodbye. 3, 2, 1. See you guys later.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Hasta la vista, baby.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream, boom, boom, boom. Make him the cutest that we've ever seen. Dun, dun, dun.
Boom, boom.
Give him 2 lips and let him
Boom, 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 boom.